This is JC DeLass with this week's Fidelis Care Coach's Corner, and our guest this week is Scott Greene, now in his 11th season as head football coach at the University of Rochester. Coach, you've averaged about 5 wins a season now in your career here at the University of Rochester, but I know more important than the wins and losses for you, it's the kind of kids that you bring into this program year in and year out. I know that's where you really hang your hat on that success.
Yeah, we do. As a program, one of the things that we're looking for is quality students, especially at the university like this at Rochester. We want great athletes, but at the same time, we realize that to try to find both can be a challenge. So what I love is we go out and find those student athletes that want to compete in the classroom at a high level, but also still have that dream and ambition to play football. And if we find that and we can get them on the field and challenge them, most of the time, man, by the time they graduate as a senior, it's rewarding to see them leave and how successful they are.
You look back at your playing career, you played at Michigan State, you played in the NFL, you had great success on the field and off the field. How do you think that experience helps relate to the kids that you're coaching now?
I hope it relates from the standpoint that you had to overcome adversity. So we're all the same, and these kids are growing up, and even though they're at a school like Rochester, they still have challenges. They have to stay up late to study, whereas, my schedule was predominantly football. Every day, 7 days a week, that's what we were focused on. So while it wasn't as high-end academic as it was here at Rochester, physically we were challenged, and obviously mentally you get tired from that standpoint. But what I see these guys do, they're in the classroom and then they're at practice. There are no scholarships, so these guys are doing this on their own. They go back and they study, and they're up till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes, prepping for a test or a paper or something else they need to get done. So I just love seeing these guys overcome that part of the adversity that they have to deal with, because it does correlate, whether they realize it or not. Once they do graduate going into life, they're going to face that adversity like we all do. So that's the one thing I try to give to them is the lessons I learned playing football, whether it was college or high school or the NFL. There is adversity, there's ups and downs, and we're going to have to deal with those. And these guys, do a pretty good job of handling that.
Lessons learned. You're very close to your family, and I know you tell a lot of stories with your team about your family and your relationships, because you treat your coaching staff and your players, really, that's an extended family for you, isn't it?
It's about trust. I know, the guys that I hire here, I want to be able to trust them. I have to trust them. You're making a huge commitment being away from your family. So when you're here at work, these guys in football are your brothers, and I try to make sure that I guide them the right way too. But I know they do a great job taking care of our players and making sure they're doing the right thing. So, having the brother like Danny that I have, I tell the guys about my brother Danny, who had Down syndrome. He was my oldest brother, loved sports, but he was never going to be able to play. So I got to watch him grow up, and all the things that I saw him that he couldn't do, I told myself I wouldn't take for granted. So I try to make sure our players understand that this game can be over fast. Things in life can happen fast, and we're going to have to deal with those things. So hopefully if they don't take it for granted and appreciate every opportunity they get when they do leave here, whether they played for 4 years as a starter or maybe played their senior year but got on the football field, they appreciate having that opportunity.
Coach, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it. Thank you, JC.
And thank you for watching this week's Fidelis Care Coach's Corner.